What's up, everyone? My name's Chris Marshall with my boy, Frank G. We are the hosts of Build Your Empire podcast. Frank G, tell the people what we do.
What's going on, everybody? Chris and I, we discussed established empires while showcasing us building ours.
Now, this episode, I'm very intrigued to give out to the listeners. We have a guest. His name's Carter Jamison. He is a 17-year-old entrepreneur. He is well beyond his years, at least from how I see it. Carter, thank you so much for hopping on the show. How's your day, man?
Good. How about you?
You know, we're out here living. It's a beautiful Sunday. We're being productive. We're moving. I have so many questions for you. We ourselves have been working together for a couple of months now, and you do good business, man. It's hard to find those, at least on the internet.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. There's tons of scams everywhere, and a lot of people who just don't deliver what they say.
They never deliver, which hurts them in the long run, because you retaining business makes you a shit ton more money than just getting a one-time client in.
I definitely see people being scared to work on the internet due to scams. I mean, it's hard to probably trust people unless you're building a relationship for a little while.
No, yeah, for sure. It's one of those things where it's just always there's scams, and there's always going to be the people who think that they're going to make more just off that one steal versus the long-term business. But if you actually go through and stuff, like with Chris, we've been working together for 3-4 months.
It's been a while now. And last time we worked together last week, I mean, you helped me out where I'm like, you know what? I want you on the show. This is how you network. It's how you create friendships. And then,
Absolutely.
Things could evolve from that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's why I wanted to hop on.
And again, we appreciate it. Now, Carter, you're kind of more or less a youngin', but at the same time, you're making bank, you're making money, you're doing you. You do it in a very interesting way. Now, I get messaged all the time, how do I make money on Instagram? How do I make money on the internet? Now, I know how. I don't do it because it does take a lot of work. But someone in your situation who's willing to put that work in, you can make money. So could you just kind of give a quick synopsis on what you do and how you make money?
Yeah, for sure. So one of the main things I do is I do client growth for people. So that basically means people come to me whenever they want to buy followers, but it's not like buying followers like what you first think. It's all real U.S. people that are coming from U.S. niche accounts. That can be meme accounts. That can be relationship accounts. It varies. And basically people come to me and say, hey, I want 1,000 followers, or hey, I want 100,000. It can vary anywhere in there. So basically a large source of the money that I make comes from me selling the growth through the followers. And that's how a lot of my client relationship. And then another money is I also own large niche accounts that I sell promotions and sponsorships on. So
now,
basically,
did you grow those, Carter? Did you grow those accounts yourself, or did you buy them specifically to profit off them on the promos?
At first, it was me completely growing them myself, all natural follower growth, and it slowly turned into, oh, I need another account by this due date. Okay, I'll just get me one. So it's a mixture of both, but most of the accounts I do grow by myself, even if it's not from zero. Sometimes I get project accounts that maybe don't have an active, super engaging following that have 500,000 followers, and I pump money into them and I get them active, then sell those advertisements you see.
Okay, because, I'm in the game as well. I'm sure you just speaking with me, you understand that I think vastly different than your average client, at least. And I thought organic growth or reach for the most part on Instagram is dead, but it seems like you're saying that's not really the case, that there's still potential.
Yeah, no, I think with niche accounts, there is still some potential. And I think with the Instagram messing up their chronological order feed and all those updates and stuff, that it does make it harder to get that organic growth unless you're just a massive celebrity. But I still think it is there, even though it is smaller than it might have been in the past.
Well, I mean, you two are clearly, you're in the Instagram game extremely hard right now. When did you get into this? I mean, you're very young. So 17, you have way more knowledge than I do on Instagram. I mean, when did you start this, and how long did it take for you to get to where you are?
So when I started it, I'm a junior in high school right now. I just went into junior year. I probably started all this around 7th grade with a friend of mine. We didn't start it for a business. We just started it to be funny. We wanted to post the memes that we all sent to each other.
Okay.
And me and a friend started, but he stayed back. And it was one of those things where I progressed a little bit more than he did. And then he quit for like a year or so. And I just kept going. I was
But
like,
that was
I
the
like
pivotal
it.
moment for Instagram too.
Yeah, no. And that was when Instagram was in its like prime days.
Yeah,
Like,
that was when organic reach was easy.
yeah, that was when you could gain 1,000 followers a day starting off with 0 followers. Like that was prime, easy Instagram days. And it slowly turned into where I was making money, but not much, but enough for my age. So say 8th grade, I was probably making 100, $200 a week. So not bad,
Yeah,
but
that's great for that age.
good for an 8th grader. And then it slowly turned into more and more, where now it can be anywhere from 500 to 2,000 a day. It just depends on the day and the work and the waters and the client.
Isn't that crazy though, that you're making essentially more money than the average adult, and you're going to school?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm still going to school. School sometimes does get in the way. And last year it did affect my grades a little bit, because it's just one of those things where more time listening to this teacher that I'll forget whatever she just said.
You're making more
3
than
weeks.
her.
Or should I focus on me?
It seems like I mean, as an entrepreneur, focus on you, it seems. But obviously, go through what you have to.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is incredible because, I mean, it's funny when I told you if you hop on the show, please be conversational, as that could be difficult. And you seem to not even worry about that. So you're very social at your age. You're thinking in a business sense where people are not trying to make money. When did that switch for you? When were you like, all right, this is cool, this is fun, but let me hustle and make money? Because what you're doing, my friend, is purely sales, which is what me and Frank G does.
I think whenever that change was for me was there was about a year. It was July 14th or so a year ago. Actually, it might have been – it was late July. It was after my birthday. And I remember the one account that I'd spent 3 or 4 years growing. It was my one account, the one thing I had, got permanently deleted by Instagram in one of the ban waves.
Oh, it scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, and that was kind of the wake-up call for me. I think I had $2,000 in my PayPal account, which at the time was a lot. And I had no account. Everything I'd worked for just got banned. And that was when I flicked the switch of, oh, this isn't for fun anymore. This isn't me just wanting to post memes and have fun. This is me wanting to make money. And that was kind of the wake-up call. That was kind of I need to start working harder. I'm going to spend 8 hours a day on my phone working as hard as I can to grow all these accounts. And it kind of just slowly made it where me working so hard for 6 months turned into now the last 6 months, I don't even have to work at all.
It's a breeze.
I get on my phone at the end of the day and make all my money if I want to.
Yeah, that's great, man. I mean, so essentially you turned a low point into what skyrocketed you into what you're doing now. I mean, that's the entrepreneur mentality. I mean, to have that almost not mastered, because that's like a journey through your life, but to be on this level at 17, man, that's truly amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Oh, of course.
Now, what's interesting is, one, you're fully dependent on Instagram, right? So the way I work Instagram and the way you work Instagram is totally different. You're looking at it from a business perspective, making money real time, presently, now, right? You're trying to make sales. I'm trying to build brand, gain, adoration for the long term, where I have a following that follows me throughout my whole life. You seem to not operate that way. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yes, you want your long-term followers that are going to follow you and see you grow and everything.
Correct. Now, in my head, that also equates to dollars, right? Because once you're, doing this for 5, 10, 15 years, and you have that loyalty, if I turn around and want to sell my hat or merchandise, it then becomes easy. Where for you, if you put any sales calls on merchandise on your page, may be extremely difficult for you to make those sales.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a different world and definitely a different profit range. And it does vary in what you can do with the pages. But I think for me personally, for my age and where I'm at, these type of accounts will benefit me more than the personalized audience.
You're killing it. Yeah, 100%. But it's funny because everyone who I speak to everyone who does what you do is typically is in your age demographic. Um, but none of them want to create that personal brand and get so personable. It's interesting. You guys really are behind the screen.
Yeah, no, what I've been working to do and what I was about to start.
I think you cut
I
out
was
there.
going to start trying to sell courses on how to grow your Instagram following.
I figured that's where you were gonna go.
And that's where I was slowly starting to work there, started to get the camera and everything. And then I saw the TikTok bans where Trump said he's going to like ban TikTok in the US. And I was like, well, luckily I didn't put much into that.
That's why you gotta diversify yourself and be all over the place.
Yeah, that's why. Luckily, I'm on Instagram right now, but that's why I'm trying to branch out and get into that personalized audience because I do see you can make a lot in that area for sure.
Well, yeah, because if you try and sell courses right now, you have no validity to why they should buy off you.
Right. I have no reputation.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's essentially why you do PR, right? So I understand, like, you're featured in Disrupt and Medium as well as I am. You have New York Times. I just saw you post London. So explain to the audience why you do that and why you feel that's important.
I think PR is important. For one, it does validate me whenever I come to clients because a lot of clients I've came to are like, I want to buy off you, but I've just been scammed or burnt so many times. I don't know if it's worth it. And then I'm like, hey, look, I'm in this article, this article, this article. They all can vouch for me. Hopefully you can too. So the PR comes in useful there, but it also helps in other forms where it gets my name out there and it makes me look like a more official person.
100%. And if you're looking for a blue tick, a blue check, that is necessary in order for you to get verified. So
yeah, that is also a key to getting verified on Instagram.
Major key, because essentially you're tapping into SEO there. Do you pay for that, or
no? I get all my press either naturally or someone comes to me and asks me, and then maybe sometimes I did a follower trade out.
Yeah, I do that too.
I've never actually just paid outright for them.
They're kind of scamish. For anyone listening, if you're looking for PR, you could essentially get an article written about you in New York Times. Now, the salesman selling it to you, that article should be anywhere between $100 to like $300, but the salesman's going to try and sell it to you for $1,000.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I've seen in group chats and places where people try to sell them for like $3,500 for a Forbes
it makes no
article.
sense. Makes no sense.
And it's just like if you're in Forbes, you can get in it for cheaper than that if you're paying for it.
So back to scams real quick, because that's what we were talking about. I was going to ask you, how do you go about like lowering someone's walls doing business over the internet? I mean, that's such a prevalent thing nowadays too. How do you lower someone's walls to not thinking you're scamming them? So now you said PR.
Great
is
question.
there?
So a lot of times whenever a client still is a little bit reluctant, which does happen, I will just be like, okay, I'll give you a free test, free of charge. I'll go first. And if you like it, if you block me, whatever, I'll just say it's free. And usually I'll give them 500 to 1,000 followers. Then they'll be like, oh, okay, I see this is legit. Let's start it.
Yep. And, it's funny because that is the exact way you should handle that. When I deal with people, it's kind of annoying that they ask for payment first.
Yeah. No, and I understand that a lot of people don't want to pay for something like that that's a service until it's over with.
And now you guys have a relationship where now that trust is built already.
So yeah. So really a lot of times it's also them needing me to trust them to pay me afterwards.
So then do you use a service where you could potentially fight that if they don't, or do you take a loss off
PayPal, Frank. That's why Carter right now doesn't have a PayPal, because he probably gets disputes all the time.
Yeah.
Yes. The disputes. I actually so I had a dispute because also is a dispute, but also the fact that I'm underage, where a PayPal of mine recently got locked with $27,000.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
A youngin' on the grind got locked out.
that was a
Caught-
tough loss.
Carter, be careful as well. I know you're youngin', so they're not teaching you taxes in school. But if you're making this much money, you're gonna have to declare it. You're gonna
Yeah.
if you don't declare it, you're gonna get fucked at some point this year or in your life in the future.
Yeah, no, my attorney covers all that. And
No, he's got an
Lesson
attorney.
learned. Lesson learned, it seems.
Oh shit!
yeah, everything gets paid for now, and I do pay taxes, and
It's-
it's all set up through an LLC and everything.
Yeah, Carter over here, 17 years old, with an attorney. The only one who represents me here is Frank G.
Well, we'll certainly also send you this clip where you could send this to your clients as well. You'll certainly be legit sounding after this as well.
100%, and that's why building the network is so important. Now, it's interesting, Carter, because I work this market a little differently. One, I figured out how cheap it actually is for you and everyone else to make their moves. I mean, you don't really pay for anything unless you're running a contest. You got to pay for influencers to do promos, right? But I believe I paid you first. I always like to test my guys out first, and then I flip it where it's like, all right, I'll keep giving you my business, but I'm paying you after.
Yeah, no, for sure. And even when I've dealt with you, I've noticed that a lot of times you do like to pay after, which makes sense.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Or I'd rather do half and half, but at first, I expect why you would want your money. But it's such a sketchy thing, right? Because as you said in the beginning, you're paying for followers, but you're paying for real, genuine followers. Now,
Yeah.
to try and clarify that or articulate it to the average person, they don't understand. So I'll do a little breakdown. I give Carter, let's say, $30 to get me 1,000 followers. Out of the 1,000 followers, 200 of them probably unfollow immediately. Now, Carter does this by having a contest giveaway. Now, out of the 1,000, 200 drop off. Out of the 800, I'd say probably 700 don't give a fuck. If 100 fucks with you, it is worth every penny to do that transaction.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair drop-off rate too. And whenever you do buy, a lot of times the risk will be some of these people are going to follow you and then just unfollow you right afterward.
Oh, it's about 20%, 30% of a drop-off rate. But what's interesting is that same $30 that I'm paying you per 1,000 followers, for the most part, the market, you can turn around and sell that anywhere between $60 to $100 per 1,000.
Yeah, I have a lot of clients too. I've had clients that pay up to $3,000 for just 1,000 followers, and it really just depends on how corporate they are and how big of a company is how much you can charge them.
I'm curious, what is your okay, so you just said you did a $3,000 you had a $3,000 client. What's your average client or like your average type of client, age-wise?
If we're going on a base level, my
Yeah.
average client is going to be paying anywhere between $100 to $200 per 1,000 followers. And that varies on what they need me to do afterward. So some of my clients, I manage all their posts, all their captions, everything. And I'm like, hey, I'll gain you 1,000 followers, but it's going to be $200 because that's going to cover all this too.
And you're really putting in the work.
Yeah, that is a lot of, I mean, you're running a small content agency.
Yeah, no, and it sounds like a lot more work than it is, because like some of these people are like real estate homes where I have a real estate client. I just have to post a picture of a house and then caption it with the address. So it sounds sometimes like it's a lot of work, but in reality, you're getting paid $200 to $20,000 just to do that.
So now let me ask you this though, because this is where it becomes a little shady doing this type of business with a certain demographic. When you get followers for that real estate agent, those are not going to translate to sales for her or him. But they don't necessarily know that. They're just excited. Their social media is getting popping, and they think they're getting sales. Now, where I think it's extremely useful for people is people like me who have a podcast where it's broad, people who are musicians, people who are actors, where the broadness of the follower doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. And actually what I do with, let's use that real estate client, because I actually have a real estate client that's my aunt, and
Mm.
she does get followers off me for $100 per thousand. And what I had told her to do was I told her up front, I was like, these aren't going to convert to sales.
Yep, I
Like
do
these
the same.
aren't. And I told her, I go, for every time you post on Instagram, spend $20 on the Instagram ads for that post. And I'll make the demographics for you where it's all where we live in Oklahoma.
Yeah, it makes
All
perfect
people looking to
sense.
buy a house.
Smart,
And that
smart.
makes it where she gets those sales,
Yep.
but also she looks legitimate.
Yeah, you're now segmental, extremely local, which makes complete sense for you.
Yeah.
So you said before that it's really not that much work, or it's less work than it seems. So why?
I think he's been doing it so long, Frank, that he thinks it's a lot less.
It's just
Yeah.
secondhand. It's like
Yeah,
secondhand.
it's a lot of work.
Because I'm curious why more people don't do it. But then again, maybe they have failed. You said one of your friends, I think, dropped off or just
Well, with the
quit.
client aspect, it depends on what you have to work with.
Mhm.
And with me, I'm partnered up with a couple other kids, and we own a group chat to grow these clients.
Yep.
So
Okay.
it makes it where I can grow as many as I want. So the reason I said it's so easy for me and I can do it all at once also is because I'm not just growing one client at a time. I'm growing 40 to 60 people in the same hour time frame at home. So while I might have to spend a whole hour of my day dedicated to that, and there's a ton of shit I have to do on that hour, it's not that bad because how many people I'm doing at once. Like, it's not like I'm knocking out three people.
So Carter, let me break this down to the listener at home. Let's say you get Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul to do a giveaway, right?
Yeah.
Now let's say you have 50 clients who are looking to gain anywhere between 50 to 150,000 followers. Each one of those clients, let's say, would pay $5,000 to get in on this cash giveaway. So 50 people, that's $250,000. Now, in turn, you have to give Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather, let's say, 150,000 collectively, leaving you with 100,000 profit, where you and your buddies will split up. Is that how that model would work?
Yes, that's actually, you said that perfectly.
Okay.
It's one of those things where you find that celebrity,
Yes.
you make the sales with them, and then
But
you
now,
get your profit.
Now this is going to allude to my main point. To get those 50 clients and to get those celebrities at all the right timing is extreme amount of work, is it not?
No, it's crazy because it's probably, I'd say every client that I message, like when I'm trying to build new clients, I'd say I send probably 500 messages. I'd say about 10 of them will reply, and about 1 out of every 10 will have a chance of buying eventually off of you. Not then, but maybe in 3 months.
So what you're saying is, one, you're in sales, and I promise you, I think if you're not an e-commerce guru, you're going to be in sales at our age. And essentially, you have to farm all these clients. So it takes a year to really start making money.
Yeah, it takes a long time to build up that many clients and to build up where you have overflow, where there's too many.
So Frank, that answered your earlier question. Where is it easy? Because that's not easy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, to me, it's crazy. So it seems, how many hours a day are you on Instagram, and is everything you do on your phone? Because that is huge advice for even young people.
Everything I do is on my phone, besides now whenever I meet up with local clients and do things locally with them. But that's, I'd say, and then also for the Instagram question, it's became now where I don't have to spend as much time because I have workers, I have people doing it for me, I have VAs. So I'd say I spend 5 hours a day on Instagram.
All right, because I was gonna answer that as well. So there was a point where I don't grow organically. I essentially give Carter money at times to get me some followers. But there was a moment, I have 110,000 followers. I'm not paying $30 times like that's a lot of money. So I used to have a team myself of affiliates that would sell for, let's say, Carter. And then I had a deal with Carter, I'm saying, where I get free followers. So do you have affiliates then, Carter, that are selling for
Yes.
you? Yeah.
And
Typically they're overseas.
yeah, and a lot of times also, I get a client that I already have will say, "Hey, my friend's wondering how I grow my Instagram. I'm gonna send them to you." That happens
Oh,
so
word of
much
mouth
now.
referrals. Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
because people hand my name out, my number out now more than ever because I have so many people I'm doing it for.
Makes sense. Time's running up. It's a great conversation, so I kind of want to keep going a little bit. Frank, you got any questions right now?
We were just talking about the followers and organic growing and I guess buying followers. Has there ever been a point where people have like gave you shit or criticism because you're paying quote unquote for followers?
Yeah.
So
No, sometimes even the clients, whenever you message the clients, will almost like mock you saying you're trying to sell me followers. Like, no.
so I don't.
You're selling advertising.
Yeah, I don't do it on the level that Chris and you do that, but I totally believe in it in a sense where you're paying to be exposed, and then it's on you to network, to create content, to just for people to rock with you. You're not
Now,
paying
Carter,
for them.
before you answer, Carter, Frank, let me tell you is that people are so silly that they'll buy from, let's say, Carter, and then ask him, are these fake or real followers? Now, if you can't understand that you can just simply DM 10 of them, and if you get a response by 8, clearly they're real. But if you can't figure out that solution outside asking Carter, then you're wasting your money. You don't know what you're doing.
You're in trouble. If you can't pivot from that, that's certainly too early of a stage.
And I'm sure Carter deals with that all the time. But he's real or fake.
Yeah, no. People say, wait, did I just buy fake people? And it's like, why would you come to me to buy fake people?
Yeah, I just say DM them, bro. Just DM them.
Yeah. Just network with the people that you got them for a reason. I mean, why do you think most people buy these followers? Are they doing something productive, or are they doing something just to, I guess, have more people like their pictures?
I'd say boast insecurity.
I'd say it varies. And say it's for a company, I think them thinking, oh, this is going to bring me customers, this is going to bring me value. And then I think for the personal brands, it's either someone wanting to grow and make money off their account, or it's someone wanting to look really cool.
And keep in mind, looking cool like that, having 100K plus followers, it stupidly and foolishly gives you credibility to reach out to other successful people, and they take you more serious.
Yeah, and also with Instagram, whenever you have more followers, that's the higher you're going to be on DM requests. So if you DM someone, you're going to be at the top, or the highest you're going to be in the search bars. And even on Google, it just uppens your ranks.
Great knowledge right there.
Yeah, I was going to say, Carter, you have some Instagram algorithm hacks. Like, what, you got some knowledge that maybe you can provide?
It's one of those things where it's not really a hack as much as it's just you building that personalized audience that likes you. And that's really the only thing there is to it now, because there's no more of those, oh, you comment this many hashtags, you're going to get more exposure. It's one of those things where you interacting with your audience is going to make your audience more active. It's going to
say that all the time. You have to build a community in which you want your community to be, which is by you talking to them. Are you scared that Instagram could decline or die, and essentially, you're on to the next thing?
Yeah, it's one of those things where if it did die, okay, yes, that day will come. I'm on Snapchat. I could easily get on Twitter, but Snapchat has the same game that Instagram does, just with just the meme account sort of thing. You can have meme Snapchats and make a killing off selling ads.
Yeah, I've seen and heard that. I never got into Snapchat. Boring for me.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's harder money, and it's way harder to grow an audience because you can imagine in Snapchat. But if you do have that audience, it's like anything, you can make sales.
The 17-year-old's talking about
sales.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. He's a perfect guest.
We're certainly building our empire. You are as well, Carter.
Time running down. Frank, you got one last question?
Really, I just wanted to ask you, Carter, if you had any advice to give anyone your age, even older, man. You do seem a little ahead of your time. Do you have any advice? Anything?
If I was gonna say one thing, it would be that if you just kept going with something, even whenever you're not like profiting or even when it's not helping you, just keep being dedicated to it. That'll help the most.
Pretty much saying if you're consistent, you'll make money. Then
you got to be really consistent
and don't drop off just because you're not making money.
Yeah.
Nah, you have to have a broader vision, broader plan. I mean, shit. Carter asked how many listeners we have per show. About 50. But do I think in 3 years it's going to be 50? Fuck nah. But you got to start somewhere.
Yes, sir.
Carter, I can't thank you enough for hopping on, man. This is how good long-term business is established, building that network, which is pivotal. Again, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
100%.
Truly been a pleasure. And to everybody listening, we'll catch you guys next time.
Yes, sir.